let's do some wedding makeup that is going to be absolutely gorgeous if you're going to a wedding or an event and you want it to last all day. I know that the products that I'm going to apply are going to last all day because I wore them to my brother's wedding a few weeks ago and I didn't have to retouch at all, other than like my lipstick, which is like part and parcel of being at a wedding because you're eating and drinking and hugging and kissing and everything. But the base, the eyes, everything looked incredible for the whole day. So let's get cracking. Now these products will work for all ages, but if you have mature skin and you're worried about having makeup that's maybe too cakey, too heavy, I got you covered. We're going to start off with the primer, and this one is just so good. It's actually a setting spray and it's from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the travel version. It's the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. But when I was reading it last year, like this got me through, remember the heat wave from last year? So I was going to try and talk. On the packaging it says that it could be used as a primer. I want something that isn't going to feel heavy on the skin or isn't going to like have a residue. I don't like when you feel that your skin is tacky. It makes me feel really claustrophobic in my own skin. But that will dry now in a couple of seconds. While that's drying, I'm going to prime my eyelids as well. Now I have oily eyelids. I always need to prime them no matter what. This is the primer that I'm using right now and it's from Marc Jacobs Undercover Perfecting Coconut Eye Primer. No matter what I'm going to do on my eyes, when it comes to makeup, I always have to prime. Now, when it comes to the foundation, I love trying like lots of different foundations, and I was looking for one in particular there recently and then came across this that I forgot I had, and it's the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in the shade NC15. Now, I wore this foundation when I was traveling recently and it just stayed put all day, and we were like on a plane, we were outside, like sitting outside on a terrace having lunch. But this is really, really good for mature skin and again all skin types, but in particular mature skin because it doesn't sit in like any fine lines or wrinkles. As always, when it comes to my makeup videos, I like to film these in natural daylight, so I'm up against my window. Yes, it's going to be sunny cloudy because that's what always happens when I do makeup videos. Bring it down my neck now in a second, but you can see the before and the after, and it has almost like a satin finish. Not even a satin, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a matte finish but has radiance in it, but that it isn't like tacky or wet. It's very confusing. So I'm using a blank canvas F20 to work it into the skin. So I do like a mix of buffing motions which will sheer out the coverage a bit, and then if I want like more coverage, let's say on my chin or on like my nose, I will stipple it in. So yeah, you can get different finishes with one brush depending on how you use it. So I like to make sure to work it into the hairline. When it comes to the foundation, I take my time. I just want to make sure that that base is looking flawless. When we set it later, I don't want to be setting kind of creases or patchiness or anything like that. But look at that foundation. As somebody with 46-year-old skin, I'm very particular about what kind of concealer I use. So there's only a few that I kind of go between. This is the one, you've seen it before if you follow me on here or on Instagram, the Lancôme Teint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer in the shade Buff. It has a massive applicator, but I like to keep it here, a little bit here, there, and then I just dot it where I think I need that little bit more coverage. If you want to conceal any blemishes, you can either use your finger or a brush to work it into the skin. But I like the fact that it doesn't like sit weirdly under my eyes. It just melts into the skin really nicely. Concealer is done. Before that has a chance to potentially sit in any fine lines, we're going to set the under eye. This powder is just, I can't even cope. So it's the Laura Mercier translucent powder in the shade Rose. There is a regular one, I think there's a honey one, there's a shimmer one, there's an ultra blur one, but this one for my pale skin is the best. So I'll knock out a bit into the lid, then I'll take a clean damp makeup sponge, and then I'll take that pointed end and I'm pressing it into the powder, and then because I don't want to apply that much, I'll just get rid of the excess on the back of my hand. Now if there's a good amount of time that's gone between when you've applied your concealer and you're about to set your under eye, just pat out the concealer again, because it will just make sure that you're not setting any creases. You know, we want it to look good all day. I'm just panning it into the skin really gently, and I'll bring it here and here as well, because those are my problem areas. You know, if somewhere is starting to get oily, that's where it will get oily first. So I'm going to preempt that. And I'll do my nose too. Listen, I'll probably just do the whole of the center of my face because I have an oily T-zone. I'm so sorry about the changing and lighting all the time. It's just the sun keeps coming in and out, and I really probably should, if I'm going to be doing makeup videos, do them under studio lighting, but then it just makes everything look too perfect. I want you to see this in real life. Do you know what? We'll work with it. It'll be fine. So we now have the most flawless base ready for action. I'm going to warm up the complexion now with the bronzer that I used on the day, and it's from Up Cosmetics, and it's the Sculpt Matte Contour shade. This is my cheekbone here, but I'm applying it slightly higher. That's what all the kids are doing. And a little tip when you're blending out your bronzer or your contour is to blend upwards. Don't blend downwards, because then you will give yourself a beard. If that's the look that you're going for, do you know what? Knock yourself out. But I like to do like a mix of patting motions, swirling motions, and then pulling up. I love the formula of this. It gives like almost a sheen finish to the skin. And make sure to bring it into the hairline too, because I don't want to have that white rim around my hair. Now that still looks quite harsh, but don't worry, this is a trust the process moment. If you've been following for a while, you will know the next step. We take our foundation brush, no extra product on it, and we're going to just bounce it off the edges, like so where the bronzer and your foundation meets. And the same here, just around the edges. See, it just softens everything. So you're not taking any of the bronzer away. And then it means that if you do want to apply more, you can apply another little bit. What I tend to do is do this, then do the eyes, and then go back in if I need to do a little bit more. Okay, next on to blush, and you'll have seen this many, many times. I'd say this is like top 2 or top 3 blushes, because I love the formula, I love the finish, I love the colour. And it's from Up Cosmetics, and it's in the shade Pink Rosé. I'm going to apply too much. We'll just go with it. Again, I use that tapping motion because, I don't know, I just think you get more control with it. And this doesn't move my foundation underneath, but by patting it, if I was to wear a foundation that was that little bit slippier or that little bit glowier, you are eliminating the risk of it moving. It just gives that flush of colour. You can use your fingers as well to apply this, but I'm being bougie. Then back in with the foundation brush, just around the edges. The day of the wedding, I used the Precisely My Brow from Benefit. And as I said, I'm using something else at the moment, but I'm going to talk about that on Instagram if you want to go have a little look. But we'll see what happens with these brows. I go through phases of having good brow days and then days where I'm just like, what were you doing? With this pencil, it's so creamy that you only need the lightest touch, but I like the fact that I can kind of mimic brow hairs. That'll do. They're sisters from another mister. Now we get onto the face, which I'm going to call Trust the Process, because we'll see how this works out. This is from Up Cosmetics. It's, I can't remember what it's called. Thingy is called Brownie, but it's like a shadow pot essentially, and they sent it recently as like a little homage to the 90s. So I'm just taking some out of the pot with a brush, but you can use your fingers as well, and I'm bringing it all over the lid, just patting it. This is going to get messy before it gets better. Okay, it looks like I'm bringing it up quite high, but as somebody with hooded eyes, like if I have my eyebrows down as normal, you can't see it like that. I can't. I'm not going to walk around the whole day with my eyes like this, like looking surprised. So I'm just going to bring it there, and I'm kind of using the tip of the brush to carve out the shape. And then using the other end, this is the blank canvas DE04. So I'm using the fluffy side just to blend it out, soften the edges. Okay. First time I used this, I was like, oh my God, why do I just keep applying more makeup? And I was like, no, you want to go smoky. I keep saying, oh, this is going to look nice. We hope. I know it will. I've done it now a couple of times. And you know what? If it doesn't go nice, we'll fix it. I'm the queen of kind of going, what happened? No, it's grand, I'll fix it. So next stage is I'm going to take this shade from Up Cosmetics Quad 2. I know this looks like an ad for Up. It's not. This is just what I used on the day because I had tested out the makeup like the week before, and I was like, oh, I love this. So anyway, this is the most gorgeous transition shade that I use all the time. Like, look, it's well loved. It's like a camel shade that just works with everything. It softens out the edges of everything. I love it so much. And I'm going to just bring it onto those edges. This is one of those looks where you want to have a few different blending brushes because I don't want to use this brush to blend out the edge. I want to use that. I want to use a clean brush for that. Okay, I'm going to go back into the pot with the edge of this brush. Use the other brush to blend it out initially. This brush to take that camel shade. I know this looks so dark. It'll work. If you think your eyeshadow is coming out a little bit too much, this is the same concealer brush. There's no extra concealer on it. I'm just using it at the edge to soften. I'm going to apply the same to this eye and I'll be back in a second. Okay, this eye now matches this eye pretty much. And if you think, oh God, Karen, this is like too dark a look for me, don't worry. this is what we're going to do to brighten it up a little bit. You're going to take your highlight. This is Up Cosmetics Golden Hour, and I'm going to take a little brush, or you can use your fingers. I'm just going to apply that right onto the center of the lid, and it will just give you that little pop of sheen and a pop of radiance and brightness to the center of the eye. You can do it on the inner half of your eye if you want, the inner third, but see there, it just instantly brightens up that look. But it's another way of as well getting the most out of your one product. So if you have a highlighter that you really like, I'm going to use Champagne Kiss as a highlight as opposed to Golden Hour. This is just a little bit too gold for my complexion, whereas like this one will just give that little bit of radiance that I want. I don't like too much highlighter on me. I just think it's real like pew. I'm going to apply a little bit in that, and you can use whatever brush you want, but I like using an eyeshadow brush because you can get that little bit more pinpoint precision when it comes to the highlight. I'm going to be bougie. I think I was bougie on the day. Was I? I think I was. And I used 2 mascaras. You don't have to do that. I just had like a load of makeup with me, and I was like, right, I knew I was going to wear this on the lower lashes. This is the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. This is a brilliant lengthening mascara, and it works so well on the lower lashes, and on me it doesn't smudge or flake or anything like that. And I'm going to use MAC Stack on the upper lashes because this gives length, but this gives volume as well. Might actually apply this on the top and the bottom. Let's go wild. I didn't want to wear false lashes on the day of the wedding just because I don't apply them that often anyway, and I didn't want them to be hanging off. I was like, I've enough to be doing on the day. The difference that little bit of mascara can make. Okay, the eyes are done. So much. The last thing we have is lipstick, and I'm just using this really simple lipstick. It's called Thanks It's MAC, and it is the perfect nude for me. And I wanted something, I hit my teeth. I wanted something that was like comfortable to wear, but that I could lash on if I didn't have to like be in front of a mirror to apply it. This is one of the Luster Glass lipsticks, so it's a really moisturizing and nourishing formula, which is great. It just means you can like slide it on. You can see it has a bit of a sheen as well, which I really like. But lads, I think we're done, but I feel like I need more blush. I've had to change the camera settings so many times. Just, okay, that looks, oh no, I look like I have enough blush on, see? Oh my god, sorry, every single time I do a beauty video, it's sunny cloudy. But anyway, this is a close-up. I love this. Oh, sorry, we're not finished. We need to set the makeup with the setting spray. So that setting spray, it just locks everything in, and it doesn't leave like a residue on the skin. It doesn't change how the formula of the foundation looks or performs. Let me just bring up the light one more time. There, I feel like that's a true representation of the makeup. So we are good to go to a wedding, to a garden party, to a barbecue. And maybe that's a bit more eye makeup than usual for a garden party, but just to show you that if you want to go for like something like that, a little bit more dramatic, that you can tone it down a little bit with the highlight. But this is what I put on my face for my brother's wedding, and it stayed put all day. I don't know if it's the combination of products, if the products work well individually, I don't know, but all I know is that I love them so much. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye.